Black void. Gold coin falls. Rings loud. Dark counter glows. $1. Screen explodes white. The number shifts, expanding, burning into the frame. $2,800,000. The silence that follows is absolute. Alex steps into the light, his gaze locked on the lens, his finger pointed directly at the massive figure behind him. He speaks. $1. Every single day. That is all it takes to reach this. No, that is not a typo. And no, this is not a scam. You are looking at the result of a process that is currently invisible to you. Stay with me for the next 10 minutes, because this number will fundamentally rewire how you perceive money. Most people think wealth is about a massive salary, a lucky break, or a high-stakes gamble. They are wrong. Wealth is about a decision you make today, and the discipline to never stop making it tomorrow. We are going to strip away the noise and look at the math that turns pennies into a fortune. The scene shifts. The clinical white of the studio fades into the soft, warm light of a nursery. A calendar on the wall shows today's date, circled in red. Soft, rhythmic music begins to play, steady and calm. Meet Sam. Sam was born today. His parents stand by a tiny, ceramic piggy bank resting on a shelf. They make a life-altering decision. Starting right now, they will invest $1 a day for him. Not 100, not 1,000. Just $1. It is the price of a third of a coffee, a spare coin found in a pocket, a negligible amount that most would ignore. They drop the coin into the bank. The sound is sharp, a clear metallic ring that signals the start of a decades-long machine. They move the funds into a simple index fund with a 10% annual return, mirroring the historical average of the S&P 500. The seed is planted. The clock begins to tick. This is the foundation of the entire system, accessible to anyone. Time accelerates. The calendar pages on the nursery wall blur into a frantic, rhythmic pulse. Years drop away, like falling leaves. Sam grows from a toddler reaching for blocks into a child running through a yard, then into a teenager hunched over a desk. The ceramic piggy bank vanishes, replaced by the glowing, sterile interface of a digital brokerage account. The counter begins to climb. Age 10, $6,000. The numbers tick upward, faster now, fueled by the relentless march of interest. By age 18, the screen flashes $19,000. Pause on that figure. Sam does not even know this money exists yet. He has lived a normal life, unaware that a quiet machine has been working in the background every single day. His parents contributed a total of $3,650 over those 18 years, a mere 33 cents per meal. Yet, the account holds nearly $20,000. The difference is not labor. It is not a high-paying job or a stroke of luck. It is the raw, unyielding physics of compounding. The money did the heavy lifting, while Sam was busy growing up. He stands at the threshold of adulthood, staring at his smartphone, watching the balance fluctuate. The foundation is set. The momentum is already in motion, and the true exponential climb is only just beginning. Sam stares at the $19,000 on his screen. He makes a choice. He does not cash out. He does not buy a car. He keeps the momentum going. The screen splits down the middle. On the left, Sam continues his daily habit, adding his dollar, watching the curve bend upward. On the right, other Sam appears. He takes that same dollar and buys a daily coffee. He drinks it, tosses the cup, and walks away. The camera pulls back, showing the two lives side by side. Same income, same age, same starting point. But the gap between them begins to widen. It starts as a hairline fracture, then grows into a chasm. By age 25, Sam has $48,000. Other Sam has nothing but the memory of caffeine. The math is cold and indifferent. At 30, the investing Sam sits at $72,000. Other Sam remains at zero. The difference is not intelligence. It is not luck. It is one decision, repeated daily, compounded by the relentless passage of time. The urgency is but palpable. Every day the choice is delayed, the chasm grows deeper. The cost of that daily coffee is not just a dollar. It is the future that dollar could have built. The counter begins to spin with a frantic, blurred intensity. Years flash by in seconds. We see Sam at 40, then 50, then 60. He is no longer the teenager watching a phone screen. He sits on a beach, the horizon wide and open, surrounded by the quiet weight of his life's work. The numbers on the screen race toward the end. They do not stop at thousands, they hit the millions. The counter finally slows, the digits clicking into place with a heavy, final thud. $2.8 million. The silence that follows is deafening. Look at the math behind the miracle. Sam is 65. Over his entire life, he invested less than $24,000 in total. That is the cost of a modest car, spread across 4 decades. Yet, he holds $2.8 million back. The screen displays the two figures side by side. 24,000 versus 2.8 million. The gap is not a mistake. It is the raw, unadulterated power of compound interest, a tool that was hiding in plain sight the entire time. It is not magic. It is the result of a single tiny daily decision that refused to stop. The shock is not in the size of the final number, but in how little it took to get there. Alex steps back into the center of the frame. The beach fades. The mirror behind him reflects your face, not his. He leans in, his gaze locked onto yours. Here is the sting. You are not a newborn. You missed the early years. The compounding machine did not start for you the day you were born. The screen flickers, showing a new set of numbers, and they are not in the millions. If you are 20 years old today, you still retire with $850,000. That is a fortune, but it is not the full potential. The counter drops again. If you are 30, you land at $310,000. The gap is widening. At 40, the number plummets to $116,000. Every decade you wait, the math punishes you. It is not a penalty fee. It is the theft of time. You are watching the potential evaporate in real time. The best time to start was the day you were born. That ship has sailed. The second best time is right now. This exact second, before you click away to something else. Alex turns away from the camera and walks to a clean whiteboard. He picks up a marker. The squeak of the tip against the surface is the only sound. He draws 3 distinct columns. He writes $5 in the first. He pauses, then writes 14 million. He moves to the next column and writes $10. He draws a line, adds a 0, and writes 28 million. He drops the marker. It clatters on the tray. Look at those numbers. This is not a fantasy. It is not a lottery ticket. It is basic, cold, unyielding math. If you can skip 1 coffee a day, you are looking at a $14 million retirement. If you can skip 2, you are looking at 28 million. The limits you thought were set in stone are just illusions of your own making. You have been looking at the world through a keyhole, thinking the door was locked. It is not. The math does not care about your bank account balance today. Hey, it only cares about the consistency of your input. The question is no longer if you can afford to invest. The question is whether you can afford to keep living as if these numbers do not exist. Alex wipes the whiteboard clean, his movements deliberate. He turns back to face you, his expression shifting from the intensity of the math to the calm of a guide. You want the result, but you need the map. He holds up one finger. Step 1, open a brokerage account. It takes 10 minutes. It is a digital handshake with your future self. He holds up a second finger. Step 2, set up an automatic $30 monthly transfer. Do not make it a choice you have to make every morning. Automate the discipline so your willpower never has to be tested. He holds up a third finger. Step 3, do not touch it. This is the hardest part. Do not look when the market dips. Do not panic when the news cycle turns red. Do not withdraw when you feel the urge to spend. Let time finish the work. The money is not yours to play with. It is a seed you are planting in a forest you will not see for decades. You are building a machine that runs on patience. It does not need your supervision. It only needs your consistency. The blueprint is in your hands. The only variable remaining is whether you will actually open that account today. The scene shifts. The white light of the studio fades into the soft golden haze of a beach at sunset. Elderly Sam sits on a weathered wooden bench, his hands resting on his knees. Nearby, his grandchildren chase the tide, their laughter carried away by the wind. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a single, tarnished golden coin. He rolls it between his thumb and forefinger, the same coin from the very first frame. The camera pulls back, showing the vast, quiet expanse of the ocean behind him. Sam never chased a massive salary. He never gambled on volatile trends. He simply never stopped. The most powerful investment you will ever make is not a stock pick. It is starting today. The scene cuts back to Alex, standing alone in the studio. He looks directly into the lens, his gaze steady. If you have kids or younger siblings, send them this video. Do not just share a link. Share the path to $2.8 million. Subscribe for next week, where we break down exactly which index funds to buy. I have one final question for you. Comment below. How old were you when you finally learned about compound interest? I want to know how many years the system took from you. Do not let it take another one.